Hey, 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 what is up, everybody? It's me, the raspy voice, Todd Fox, here on the Week 16 NFL recap on Out of Bounds with the other host of the show,
Carlos.
a.k.a. Rick Davis. He's going to do all the heavy lifting on this show today. My voice is kind of shot. I don't have COVID, but I'm pretty sick. So before we get into it real quick, you want to let them know where they could find us or check us out or whatever?
Yeah, you can basically find us on any social media platform. If we're not on any of your favorite platforms outside of YouTube and any other podcasting stations that you guys found us on, please let us know if you want to hear us on any other stations, networks, social media platforms, anything. And we'll do anything for you guys. So just give us an alert, give us a message, or let us know where you want to hear us at. But from what I know, we're on Anchor and right here on YouTube. And like I said, let us know where you want to hear us at. Tell a friend about us. Things are getting real interesting because the records. I got the records. I won't. Your next move is Todd is asking about the records. Like I said, things are getting really, really tight between me and Todd and the records, the overall records. Todd, you're at 143. Well, hold on. You went. Let me tell everybody what your record was this past weekend. You went 8-8, and I went 12-4. It was my best week so far. But with that being said, Todd, you moved up to 143 wins, 96 losses, and two ties. I moved all the way up to 140 wins, 99 losses, and two ties. So far so good. Any thoughts that you have on games that you regret picking, Todd?
I'll get into a couple of those as we get through the highlights or whatever of these games like we're gonna do, and then that just goes to show that the next couple weeks, dude, I gotta pick really wisely because you're right on my ass, dude. So
Hold your stall, brother.
up the butt. We're gonna and we're gonna be doing some more stuff here too coming up. Probably opening up an Instagram and Facebook to get everything squared away. For the page and hopefully some more sports, maybe some NBA coming too. So we're not just going to do the NFL. We're going to try to mix it up here. With that being said,
They have to let us know though. Like the people have to let us know what they want us to do. Because if we're just gonna go out there and like do a show, and nobody like asks for it or watches it, we got to make sure that they're interested in it. So let us know. We need constructive criticism. We need ideas for when football season is over. What do you guys want us to move into next? Because I'm thinking baseball might be the next move. How are you thinking basketball?
yeah, I think basketball might be the one to go with for right now to carry us through at least till baseball. But let's get it started, man. Let's get it done. The first game was on Thursday. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars desperately needing a victory. So did the Jets. Jets are in the thick of the playoffs. Then they needed this win really bad. They're 7-8. Both teams actually after this one will finish at 7-8. Jaguars 3-5 on the road after this game, and the Jets fall to 3-5 at home. Disappointing sellout. Trevor Lawrence, 20 of 31, 229, no touchdowns, no picks, but he was very efficient. It's hard to throw the ball in that heavy rain. Itanay Jr. had 22 carries for 83 yards. Evan Ingram, 113 yards through the air for the Jaguars. Zach Wilson, everyone's favorite New York quarterback, 92 yards passing. He said, hold up, guys. I'll rush for a yard. So he at least added a yard to his passing stats. Chris Streweller, whatever his name is, 9 carries, 54 yards. Michael Carter, your backup running back, was your leading receiver. That's problems across the board. Jets looked absolutely pathetic in this one, 19-3.
All right, before I get started on this one, is this a game you regret picking the Jets over the Jaguars? Or
Yes, that's the first one. I actually had a little faith in Wilson. I should have listened to Randy on that one. He was been blowing me up, telling me how much of a bad pick he was. And I took a L on that one for sure.
you just thought that Wilson was going to turn the corner because he was finally getting the starting job, huh?
I thought he would have learned something that nothing is a given in the NFL, and no matter how high you're picked, you could lose your job via injury or just poor performance and never get a shot. And he got a second shot at that starting spot. He should have balled out if he's the real deal. And he just kept checking it down, man. Wasn't looking down the field. Randy called it. He was saying the guy doesn't look his receivers open. He was saying that he just doesn't, have the wherewithal to trust his receivers. And you could see, man. I mean, every time they needed like 12 yards, he's like, 2-yard dump off.
He had his moments, man. Yeah. At first, I'm gonna tell you what I saw at first. Zach Wilson, I was like, wow, this guy's looking pretty good. But as the game went on, it's like the defenses started playing a little bit more aggressive against him. And they started doing like these ridiculous throws. You know who he reminded me of on that game? He reminded me of Christian Ponder. I was like, wow, this he's doing a lot of dirt balls.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. And this dude Strebler, man, for the Jets, I was like, he came out of nowhere. I didn't even know he existed, bro. I was like, who is this dude? And I was like, Strebler. But he looked pretty good. You know who he reminds me of? Taysom Hill. He reminds me of that, like a gimmick quarterback. He's not going to lead the Jets by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think Mike White's a long-term answer either. I think Mike White is like a Rex Grossman type of quarterback. He'll do just enough to get you where you need to go, but he's not going to make any explosive plays. He'll do all the smart things, but Mike White seems to be the best quarterback that they got. Strebler, he seems like Taysom Hill. You can line him up as a running back, tight end, call some wildcat with him. So I was impressed with that dude, Strebler. I'm still shocked that Garrett Wilson for the Jets is I want to say now he's finally crossed over 1,000 yards receiving, because I think the game before this one they were he was like 20 yards or something like that away from hitting 1,000 yards on the season. So kudos to him. And another problem I have with the Jets offense is what the hell did they bring in C.J. Uzomah and Tyler Conklin into the offense? And they're not doing nothing with those guys. A combined total of 5 receptions for 64 yards for those two big free agent, quote unquote, big free agent acquisitions. Tyler Conklin in Minnesota would be ripping it up right now, like T.J. Hawkinson. C.J. Uzomah in Cincinnati was a household. He's a household name because of what his time with Joe Burrow. I think both those guys should have stayed with their teams, but they chased the money instead of success. So we'll see where their careers end up because of that. Michael Carter being the running back, the lead dog. I don't know what happened to that dude, James Robinson. That dude is nowhere to be found. He seemed like he was good, the real deal in Jacksonville. It just seems like he's not that good no more. And as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence looks like he's pretty good, man. You give him a few more years. He's not to me he's a pretty good quarterback, but that's just an outsider's point of view right there. I thought that Zach Wilson was a pretty good quarterback. We're going to see if Trevor Lawrence actually is a good quarterback as time goes on. Travis Etienne, he's pretty good. So far, the Jaguars are headed in the right direction. The Jets, they seem like they've gotten a complete auto cruise neutral. Like they were looking pretty good. And is it not awkward or is it not odd that both New York Giants and Jets both started off the season really good, looking promising, like they were the next division leaders in both their respective divisions, and now they're both falling apart at the same exact time. Like I want to say that they have the same record too. I could be off by that, but it's just weird to me that both those teams started off great and now they're looking ridiculous.
Yeah, right now the Giants have a slightly better record. I think they're 8-6-1. But they're built similar. Giants have a really good no-name defense. The Jets have drafted really good, so you know who they got. Yeah. If the running back went down, I forget his name for the Jets, he was on a tear, and he was helping that offense a lot early and on. And since he went down, they've definitely struggled because Carter's not the answer. I thought he was. And so they really haven't got much out of Robinson since the trade. The receiving core is a lot like the Giants. They're guys that they took a chance on. I still think they need a number one. So do the Giants. And both teams are going to be in the market for a quarterback. I don't think either team is sold on their quarterback situation. Maybe Mike White sticks along for, maybe backup or to start for a rookie. But I'm hearing a lot of people wanting a Carr. Randy was one of them. A lot of people said maybe Derek Carr goes to the Colts or the Jets. So we'll have to see. There's going to be some free agent quarterbacks out there that might change teams, and we'll see if. But I just hope the Jets don't get a bad retread like a Matt Ryan type quarterback. They need someone that can move a little bit in the pocket and then is not scared to throw the ball down the field. That's been their problem. They can't throw the ball down the field.
Well, honestly, instead of like trying to go after another quarterback in free agency and trying to catch lightning in a bottle. instead of trying to catch lightning in a bottle. They just need to just ride it out with Mike White until they draft a quarterback. They just if they fall flat with Mike White this year and next year, then so be it, bro. But they've got to be able to draft and develop a quarterback. All these teams that always like Washington and the Colts and all these other teams that always try and that sign all these free agents and try and catch like Brett Favre in 2009. I keep thinking about him, how the Vikings had lightning in the bottle with him. Instead of doing that, I think the best thing to do for any team out there is draft and develop. Look what's happening over there in Denver. Look what Russell Wilson's doing. Like they should have stuck with Drew Lock, but I get a splashy move. They were the paper champions. They were the talk of the offseason, and now look at them. They're sitting there without a head coach now. But
Well, that was new. That was new ownership trying to sell out. They needed they wanted to do a like Stan Kroenke and win like now. That's what they
Yeah,
wanted to do.
they messed up by bringing everything new
Yeah.
quarterback, new coach, new GM, new everything from what I hear. But
Yep.
man, about this Jets and Jaguars, I thought that the Jets were gonna they had a chance of making a play. It just doesn't look like they're gonna make it no more, man. Their chances are not. The Chargers just got in with the win against the Raiders, and then the Chiefs are already in, so that's already two spots automatically locked in from the AFC West. Now the Jets are on real thin ice. We're going to see if they actually have a chance. I don't know what their percentage is of making the playoffs.
Jets still have an opportunity. Believe it or not, the Jets still have an opportunity, but they got to win out and they need some help. But they have a chance.
I hate when my team falls in that category. The years that the Vikings are sitting there like, oh, we need like all these five teams to lose out. We need to win out, and then when they need some more help, and then you start looking even further into. You start looking at the tiebreakers. Then you start looking at how each team did it. It's such a headache, man. I'm like, wow. And then like with the Vikings doing so good, I don't have to worry about that this year, man. It's such a relief.
Yep. That's how it is, man. Let's move on to the next game. Buffalo Bills improved to 12-3, 6-2 on the road. They take on the Bears, who fall to 3-12, 2-8 at home, or 2-6 at home. Sorry. The Bears, since getting your boy Chase Claypool, are 0-7. Josh Allen, 15-26, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Singletary had 105 yards rushing. James Cook had 99 yards rushing.
Man.
They also Justin Fields played in this game, 15 for 23, 119 yards passing. Montgomery was their leading rusher. Again, same old Bears, no receiving threat and no running game. They don't have a Jonathan Taylor. They don't have any kind of known running back. And it's just the same old Bears playing defense. They kept it close, but the Bills would score 29 of their 35 in the second half to blow this game wide open.
Yeah, with this game right here, man, it was crazy to me. I was like, wow, because I was watching the Vikings game, and I pay attention to the ticker when I'm watching the Vikings game, the bottom line or whatever you want to call it, like the scores when they show it. And occasionally I whip out my fantasy team to see the scores there too. But yeah, the Bears were actually on top. They were on top of what was it, 10-0 or 10-3, 10-7 or whatever the score was. And that score held up. The Bears were up for a while. And I was like, man, are the Bears gonna upset the Bills? Like that's crazy. Like I just can't believe it. And then I get so far into the Vikings game, and then I look back at that score, the Bears versus the Bills. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, they're down by like 20 points. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then it just clicked in my head. I was like, typical Bears stuff. Like they're gonna go up, and then they're gonna give up the lead. I don't know. You said that I'm looking at the stats right here for rushing for the Bills. Singletary and Cook over 200 yards combined, and then you add in Josh Allen with his 41 yards. All three of them scored a touchdown. And then if you look at their wide receivers had pedestrian day at best, and they still blew out an NFL team. Like that team right there is gonna be scary to me. I think it's gonna come down to the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals, because the Bengals, I feel like the Bengals are gonna be the secret that they're gonna be the team that takes out the Chiefs if they line it up. If it's the Bengals and the Chiefs, the Bengals are taking them out. Now I think the Bengals and the Bills play either this week or next week. I'm not sure,
They
but
play.
that right there, huh?
They play it this Monday night.
Well, that game is going to be that might be for the number one seed right there. I don't know how the AFC's looking, but that's going to be, dude. Everybody and their mama should be watching that game. That might set a record for ratings this season. That's going to be a hell of a game, man. I don't know where it's at. If it's in the jungle, bro, forget about it. Cincinnati's going to end up routing the Buffalo Bills, because that crowd's going to get loud, bro. Like Cincinnati, because the Buffalo Bills get a lot of primetime games. The Bengals, I can't remember the last primetime game that they had. I haven't really been following the Bengals that much. But that's going to be ridiculous. If it's in Cincinnati, oh my God, man. Give me Cincinnati on that one. But the Bears, let me see what they've got. The Bears, I didn't watch that game much of any. Like I was so far into that Vikings game, but yeah, I mean the Bears, they look like they're okay, bro. It's just that they don't have nothing on offense. They need to change it. They need to find somebody that's going to change the path of that offense or something. I don't know, man. It just seems like everything that you said about the Bears has been true, man. Like they got a good defense. They always run the ball pretty good, and then they never have a good passing game. And it's just the same typical Bears, and they're sitting at what 3 or 4 wins this year,
Yeah, sitting there at three wins right now, looking to get that second overall pick.
which is right before like a pick or two before your pick from the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, it's a pick because Seattle's got the 3 right now.
Oh my God! I'm very
Yeah,
excited about that.
I'm super excited, man. We get the 3rd pick in the second round as well, man. So I'm super
Think
happy.
about, think about it. The Seahawks really wanted to. They could trade both those first round picks for the number one overall pick this upcoming draft, and you guys can get the best overall player that you guys want. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what, that 3rd pick can get us maybe 2 first rounders or a first rounder and a second rounder as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Schneider trades down. He does that all the time, and
yeah,
to accumulate more picks. So I would not be surprised if Seattle trades either out of the first round for 2 first round picks, or they trade for a late first round pick. Like say for instance, like if the Chiefs wanted to move up to a number 3, I guarantee you they're going to be fielding offers. I don't know if they're set on
I
a
think that I think that Seattle what they need to do is they need to work on that defensive line. So there's a whole bunch of like defensive linemen that are projected to go like in the second or third, fourth round. Look for Seattle to strike a deal that's going to get like a whole bunch of like fourth round picks, third round picks, second round picks, so that way they can start stockpiling for that defensive line. Because I think Seattle's got everything to win. Now it's just that you said it, and I've picked up on it. I agree with you. Seattle's pass rush has not been there for a few years now, ever since Michael Bennett and them left Seattle. So I think Seattle needs to really, really, when the draft happens, they need to really just stockpile defensive linemen and offensive linemen, just protect quarterback and attack the quarterback.
because they got their tackles this year. I think they're going to need one more guard, but definitely you're right. Defensive end, I don't think they need D tackles. They have pretty good D tackles that could stop
How
the
many
run.
though? How many though? Like if one of them gets injured, do you think you got enough depth? Like that's what every with that extra game you got to worry about it too. You got
Yeah,
to worry about that depth. They just need a stockpile.
we need like several pass rushers, like you said, and I think even bringing in Adams back next year, don't bring him back as a safety. Make him a hybrid linebacker pass rusher because that's what he did his first year. He got 10.5 sacks. He was great. He can't catch a cold out there in the secondary. So right now, Diggs and that kid they got Neal. I mean, those guys are doing great out there at safety. So I would stick with the kids in the secondary, move Adams into the hybrid mode, and then because they're playing a 3-4 anyway. Well, we'll get to Seattle in a minute,
I
but
was about to say one more thing about Seattle. I'll tell you what, that team is fun to play with on Madden, man.
yeah, too bad not in real life. They've been bumming me out lately. Let's get to another game that's bummed out your fans that you went to go see the other week, which is the Cleveland
Oh,
Browns. They fall to 6-9, 4-4 at home. This game summed up their season as the Saints improved to 6-9, 2-5 on the road. Andy, the red-headed Dalton went 8 for 15, only 92 yards passing, but Alvin,
winning with an interception.
yeah, Alvin Kamara and Hill rushed for 150 yards together, and then nothing through the air. But Deshaun Watson, I mean, come on, he was better off getting his sphincter tickled by those Asians. He went 15 of 31, 135 yards and a pick. Nick Chubb, 24 carries, 92 yards. He's as good as gone. I think him and Hunt might leave in the offseason. Amari Cooper had a good game, but dude, Cleveland laid an egg at home, 17-10, and this is their weather. It was frigid, and it was
Yeah.
minus 12 degrees at one point with a wind chill.
Yeah, man, that's just dude going to that. I think it was deceiving going to that primetime game. I should have gone to a Cleveland Browns game, during the regular, like during like the month of October when they weren't on prime time, because I was just so in awe with that prime time, like the atmosphere. It was just like amazing going to like a Saturday night game in Cleveland. I was like, wow. I was like, these fans are really crazy. But man, looking at it like a regular game, like a normal Sunday, Saturday game, where because this game fell on Saturday, the Browns just look like they're just they lost to Andy Dalton 8 for 15. He completed 8 passing attempts,
Yeah.
bro. 8 out of 15. You want to talk about making Justin Fields proud, bro? This is a game where Justin Fields he had a big old smile on his face, like I finally out the quarterback. 92 yards with the interception, but then again, it's the cold. It was extremely cold. There was no way you were going to catch me at that game at all. Alvin Kamara had a pretty good game. No surprise, they ran the ball. Like they had a whole bunch of rushing attempts from a whole bunch of players, nothing through the air. I mean, there's not much to really talk about other than what I've been seeing on social media. The Cleveland Brown fans that I'm friends with on Facebook,
Mhm.
they were sitting there. Everybody that's a Browns fan has been calling for Kevin Stefanski. He's ahead in Cleveland. They're like, this guy's not a good coach. He's a good first quarter coach, and then after that, teams just catch up to him, and then they pass him up. And I had to agree with them, and they follow that team more than I do. And it just seems like Cleveland is they've got everything to win. They got a number one wide receiver, they got tight ends, they got the running game, and they got the quarterback. So and they got defense. So now what's the excuse? And the weather was on their side, you know.
Yep. Definitely.
And for,
They just laid an egg, bro. I mean, nothing you could say. I mean, the offense hasn't looked good at all since Watson came back in there. It barely looked any good with Brissett. And you got weapons all over that field, so there's no excuses.
Yeah, let's before we move on, man. Let's talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about the Saints. They still have a chance of making that winning that division. They're 6-9. They're right there, and they've got a game. I don't know who they play against this upcoming week, but it's going to be a crucial game for them and the team that they're playing. I want to say that they're playing. It's not Green Bay. It's a team that really needs to make the playoffs. I can't tell you who it is, but the Saints still have a chance of making the playoffs, man. Don't be surprised if the Saints are the team to represent the NFC South. Everybody's been talking about either Tampa Bay or Carolina, and everybody's forgetting about New Orleans. And New Orleans has a nice little team over there. Everybody's forgetting about New Orleans, man.
Well, just a spoiler alert: they play Philly. Yeah,
That's the one. That's the one. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't play, it's going to be the Saints are trying to win that division. So the Saints are going to give everything to Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, this might be a trap game. Well, I don't know how much it's going to be. It's going to be a ridiculously good, interesting, entertaining weekend of football. I'm so pumped up for this weekend.
yeah. There's a lot of teams that are going to get eliminated this week. That's the thing. You know, from here on out, it's playoff football. So,
Oh man! And
yeah,
then I know I'm all over the place, but hey, we're coming down to the end of the season and football's about to be over. But I'm just gonna say it, man. The Jets going into Seattle is gonna be another crazy, good, entertaining game. Both those teams are fighting for their playoff lives. Man, you got basically almost like there's only like maybe like 4 or 5 teams. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the honest answer, but there's less than 10 teams that have already been eliminated from making the playoffs, and every other team still has a chance at making the playoffs. It's such a good time of the year for football fans.
it is. It's actually worth watching. There's a lot of good football to go, and as we know, all you gotta do is get hot and win the NFL, man. Anything can happen once you get to the postseason. God damn it! I picked the wrong thing again. Do
And
you
with
see
that
that?
being said, I think we should we're gonna end this stream right now before we get caught up. And
Yeah,
we're gonna pick the next one up so we don't get caught up and cut off.
I
Because
picked the wrong damn one again. I keep forgetting. Okay,
so
so
let's
we'll cut it right here, and then we'll jump on to the next one.
all right, are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
All right, everybody, if anybody's out there watching, just stay tuned, and we're about to go live again because we got a timer going on right now, and we got plenty more to talk about.
That's totally on me, man. I should have had the other one because the other one I have unlimited time. I picked the wrong browser again.